Let's just start fresh, right? Let's just hope that this is a fresh series.
But it also depends if Ozone is going to take this as a fresh series. Like, you see last game, and that was just a ruffle stomp. Complete ruffle stomp.
I
There
don't
was
know
just
what you're
no
talking about
chance.
last game.
Okay, fine. No game happened. Ozone are amazing. They're going to win this 2-0, yes. Aside from that, though.
10
So,
seconds remaining.
Ozone, at this point, you want to get as many comfort heroes as
5
possible.
seconds
Now,
remaining.
obviously, Meepo is second ban, so
Dire
Ozone is not
team
going to be able to
ban.
get their hands on that for the first phase. So they can still fall back to the Ember Spirit. But if TNC just goes with the exact same mindset and saying that let's play around their Ember Spirit comfort
Radiant
pick, let's
team
counterplay it as much as possible, let's make sure it never comes online, then I
Dire
think
team
Ozone are
ban.
in a really bad spot if they're not really able to capitalize on any other heroes that not just fulfill a similar purpose, but they're also going to be comfortable playing. Because it's mostly been the Meepo Ember Spirit show for Ozone. And if they get those heroes, they play incredibly well. So, Darkseer and Dazzle, though,
Radiant
it's a
team
safe
ban.
start. I wonder what direction they want to go with this with their cause.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be in for a lot of pressure. Like, Spiritbreaker obviously is going to be that pressure pick. Undying, viable for TNC, but I feel like we're going to be seeing like a Jakiro kind of
10
TNC
seconds
sensing the fact that they
remaining.
won last game so quickly that they could just, not waste their time and just be
5
done with this
seconds
one
remaining.
just as fast. So Ozone are going to have heroes that fight early. In that sense, Gyrocopter, I think, is probably another,
Radiant team
S
pick.
plus tier pick here for the Ozone side. Just be ready to fight. And though you would like to get farm in the Gyrocopter if needed, if he is forced into a fight, he can handle it. TNC have their initiating, they have their shutdown, so Darkseer and Dazzle both get completely screwed over up against the Doom, and for TNC it's going to be a Winter Wyvern.
Dire team
Pretty standard, Winter Wyvern and Doom combo. Whenever Doom is allowed in the pool, you kind of want Winter Wyvern with him, just so you can get that much extra healing on the Doom, but yeah, for TNC it looks like it's going to be mostly just par for the course heroes.
Yeah, so they now have some decent AoE lockdown with the Wyvern. They have slows, they have a heal, they've got mobile, like global presence, semi-global presence with the Spirit Breaker, lots of disruption, Doom for solid lockdown.
10 seconds remaining.
I still want to know what Ozone's plan is, and it feels like with this Undying pick, it
Radiant
might be
team
something
pick.
more early game related. And every time I've casted an Ozone game, every time they're
team
forced
pick.
into an early game sort of draft, they can't perform well enough to accumulate a lead so big that they can win off the back of it. Which is, I think, Ozone's weakness. As you said, their early game is the weakest link for them, and if they can't get the early game rolling, then that's going to be an issue for them. And for TNC, they're fine. They have a Gyrocopter for late game. They have a Doom that comes online pretty soon as well and does very well in a late game scenario. They've got good scaling
10
supports.
seconds remaining.
Invoker for Ozone.
Radiant team
Um,
ban.
he's okay, but he needs a lead.
It's not bad. You don't know your matchup yet. I assume at this point for Ozone, it almost has to be a Wex Invoker just to keep yourself safe versus the Spirit Breaker.
10
It is a hero that
seconds
just gets
remaining.
absolutely crushed by Doom, which is unfortunate. But yeah, as far as
Dire
holding down the
team
fort
ban.
early game, Undying, Darkseer, and I guess to a lesser extent Invoker, especially an Invoker who doesn't know his lane opponent just yet. These are all fine heroes for the Ozone team to have. TNC, well, I was just about to say Templar Assassin, really the only big
Radiant
mid hero
team
left
pick.
in the pool for them. They could do something weird like Gyrocopter mid. We just saw it. I think the Gyrocopter mid wasn't that bad, but it was up against a Juggernaut who's like an even weaker mid, and it didn't really win. So yeah, for TNC, it is going to be a Bounty Hunter. So it looks like the Spirit Breaker might be getting a little bit of farm, perhaps. Gyrocopter mid lane versus Invoker, they already got away with Juggernaut versus Gyrocopter, so TNC probably feeling just comfortable with their skills, and that in of itself will help them win. But Roam a Spirit Breaker in there, Roam a Bounty Hunter in there, and Invoker, Wex or not, is going to be for a lot of hurt.
What are your thoughts on them making this a core bounty? He could
10
still roam around and be
seconds
annoying,
remaining.
and I know he'll be more useful if he roams around, but what are your thoughts if TNC just has the
5
bounty
seconds
hunter
remaining.
farming? Have the Spirit Breaker as the roamer. I would like to see some position 3 bounty hunter action
Reserve
again.
time.
Then you can shift the Doom into the safe lane.
We just saw mid lane Juggernaut from TNC. Is there
We
any
can see
chance that we see mid
mid-bounty?
lane Bounty Hunter?
Well, Ozone picks up Juggernaut, so this does secure the mid lane for Invoker. And if it's a mid bounty... Bounty's not going to win, though. He should not by any means win the mid against an Invoker. So I don't think they'll put him in the mid. as much as I would like to see it, like who doesn't want to see unorthodox mids?
I don't think I've ever actually seen mid bounty hunter, and AU's gonna grab it. So well, it was QWERTY right on the Juggernaut last game. So maybe he's just gonna take the Gyrocopter in the mid lane, do one of those this is how it's done type of plays. But yeah, this is going to be an aggressively slanted draft here for TNC. They definitely have the sustain to make it work, mostly in the Winter Wyvern. But once this bounty hunter gets level 6, then all hell breaks loose for Ozone. Though I would say they're a little bit more prepared for this. Again, Undying is an absolute monster early on. Darkseer very hard to dislodge because he is so tanky. And well, everyone's natural tankiness, the Undying's tankiness, is going to be increased by the fact that they have a Dazzle. And of course, Juggernaut is one of the safest early game heroes to pick up, just because Blade Fury does so much damage, because it is an offensive and defensive tool. So Ozone are, they picked up a couple of insurance policies for this game. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but they definitely stand a much better chance than last, where like Ember Spirit is going to be a very, very much so hit or miss hero. They're going to start off with scouting everyone. Now, this isn't spotted yet. They know that Magical has sentry wards now.
30 seconds to battle.
And AU is probably just going to be, letting everyone know what the items are. They see Trash. Where's the Spirit Breaker? He's in the middle of everything. Here he is. Ice, ice, ice wannabe. Well, is he going to go in on this? Do they even want to try? First of all, Doom's going to run to the Darkseer. Now, Doom, not really great at man fighting because he has 0 armor. Darkseer is just that much tankier. It looks like Ozone might be able to secure both these bounty runes, actually. They're going to start using the burn on Trash, a little bit on Eiley, a little bit on Magical. Everyone's going to get a little bit of love. In fact, one for each person. Look at that. Invoker's going to grab the bounty rune, but now they're going to chase down the Darkseer down towards bottom. Scorched Earth is active. QWERTY not in range for the Rocket Barrage, although with a couple more right clicks, they'll get the first blood onto the Darkseer, and they'll swing back over towards the river area and grab the rune for QWERTY as well. So yeah, first blood, Gyrocopter, bounty rune Gyrocopter. Yeah, this is going to be a Gyrocopter versus Invoker, and with this start, I don't really know if this Invoker can do much about this.
I guess the advantage with the Invoker is he's going to have a range advantage, although because he's running the Quas first, he's going to have a little bit of a damage disadvantage. And with the bounty incoming, this is probably going to get a whole lot worse here for Ailey. So this mid lane might not be the best lane for the Invoker, but again, it's going to depend on whether or not this mid lane will be secured by TNC. There's no detection in this mid lane at all, so you're playing against a bounty. You have to expect that he is going to put so much pressure on an Invoker. Invoker's a hero that's so level dependent, so if you can shut him down early, Invoker's going to become a non-factor for a good portion of the early game.
And as far as defense mechanisms, like I again assume he's going to go for Wex, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for Bounty Hunter to really sit on that mid lane. But yeah, I mean, do you really want to invoke Ghost Walk? Not until like the 20-minute mark, unless you're really in for a bad spot. He's actually going to go for an Extort build, and now, well, he might get jumped by a bounty. It is only a level 1 Bounty Hunter, so it's not going to be the most threatening thing in the world. But here comes the missile and the right clicks. It's just free harassment here. Eiley's actually going to whip up a Forge Spirit, which is nice to help you last hit, but again, really not what you want to be doing as Invoker. Down towards bottom lane, just to wins, getting into a duel with I Come From Space. You can pop the Scorched Earth, however, Ion Shell is doing its work. Not quite enough, however. Scorched Earth still ticking. Darkseer may have overcommitted. Now he's going to try to go for the Winter Wyvern. Double Ion Shells are up, and it looks like he will force both of them back. Again, these are just much safer lanes. Darkseer is a stronger laner than a Clockwork of last game. We have the Juggernaut, who's clearly having a better time, as TNC are just letting him farm for the most part. So at least Ozone are going to be playing a real game of Dota this time. However, bottom lane now we have a rotation from the bounty. I don't really think they have enough gas in the tank to go for this Darkseer kill.
So you honestly assume last game was a custom game?
What?
You said they're playing a real game of Dota this time, so last game was a custom game?
I mean, the last time was the practice game. Everyone's like warm-up game is always the worst. It's no big deal. Now they're warmed up. Now they're ready to go.
Well, I guess that's the good thing about two best of 2 games. So there's a chance he could potentially come back. So for TNC, the Bounty Hunter's not being that successful, so he's going to have to try and grab levels elsewhere aside from roaming around. This top lane, it's a tri lane for Ozone. They're not fully pushing the Spirit Breaker out of lane, and because of this, unfortunately for Ozone, the supports are kind of making Jug a little under-leveled. So he's the exact same level as the Spirit Breaker, which is a situation you really don't want to be in. If they're putting so much pressure on the lane, I assume they at least attempt to try and push down the tower. Because if you're soaking the EXP, then you have to make something work out of this. and Ice Wannabe is hanging around in the lane, and there's nothing they can do about it. I guess it's also that they can't kill him effectively because they don't have any disables, and he just charges away.
They need an Omni Slash if they're going to kill him. They're going to try to go for Eiley over in mid. Here comes the charge. It is only level 1. Yet they're going in deep. Here comes AU from behind. Missile's going to connect, and QWERTY is going to let loose the rocket. So that's going to kill off the Invoker. Charge should be canceled at this point for the Spirit Breaker. And it will. He'll probably just return back up towards top. But Ozone, the real downside of this lane, despite the fact that it's super, super safe, might be too safe because they actually have 0 disables here. They have 0 ways of actually keeping up with the Spirit Breaker and doing enough damage to kill him off, first of all, but like he can charge away if he even needs to. He won't even need to charge away. He can just walk out of there most of the time because there's not enough damage from the Ozone side unless he gets hit with like 2-3 decay or something like that. So not much the Spirit Breaker has to fear over in the top lane rather, but at least the Darkseer is having a pretty good time down towards bottom mid lane. Invoker, yeah, he died, but he's not doing too terribly. You expect him to be recovering in this lane as he gets more points in Exhort, so he gets a little more base damage, and with those Forge Spirits, he'll be able to last hits almost with complete impunity.
Yeah. The early point into the rocket, I thought QWERTY was going to possibly go for the rocket build on the gyro, and if he did, I think that would have made Ailey's life complete hell in this mid lane, because Invokers typically don't pick up a bottle, and you and I saw this at MPGL a couple of months ago. Gyrocopters were put in the mid lane, did the rocket build, and it literally crapped all over standard mids during that point. So I would have loved to see it again, but I guess it's not to be. Just 1 point, that 1 value point to secure that disable on the Invoker for those extra couple of seconds, I suppose.
I think using the build up against Invoker is probably not what you want to be doing just because he has Quas runes. Like, the way the build works, they're going to go deep for the Darkseer. He's burning to the Scorched Earth. Ayo's going to jump right in with the Shuriken. It won't even land. Darkseer getting way too out of position. The slam from the Thunderclap, rather, from the Doom, doing a hell of a lot of damage. But yeah, that progressive chip build from the Gyrocopter doesn't really work against someone who has so much free regeneration. Right now, Ailey only has 1 point in that Quas, but if he has 2, then it's a lot easier for him to sustain that. Is there a Splinter Blast in the midair? There is. And it looks like there is no missile, but there is a call down. Is Invoker just dead here? He might just be, because the Splinter Blast will slow him down. The call down will slow him down even more. He has a Cold Snap, but no real way to abuse it.
No. Oh, does he have a Forge Spirit? The Forge Spirit would be able to keep the gyro in place with the Cold Snap.
Here it is. Slow him down. Missile's coming. Teleportation is coming. It's a dazzle, but will it come in time? Ailey will fall. We'll also lose his Forge Spirit. A little bit of bonus gold there. Second TP, I believe Undying's was canceled up towards top lane. Not sure if that was because of a Lucky Crater Bash or if he just voluntarily canceled it, but TNC gonna grab a pretty easy kill on the Invoker.
So again, unfortunately, this Invoker, I can't tell you how many games I've seen where teams try to draft Invoker in this tournament for C, and it's very rare that you see any of the Invokers come online. So it just seems like this hero is not destined for success for this patch, because he needs too much in the mid lane. He needs too much to begin with to come online, but he's not really worth giving the safe lane unless you have a team that's going to fulfill the holes that an Invoker gives if you do put him into that core position. And, okay, Magical just walked into QWERTY, and he is now going to die.
Oh, well, in bottom lane, AU was sitting in Ion Shell trying to outlast it the Darkseer, and did do so successfully. He got the CS. It's only those like pole camp creeps, so it's not a big deal, but still, it's gold away from the Darkseer, gold into the pockets of Bounty Hunter. Dropped down to like 10 HP, and then the wall dropped, and the Darkseer was surging after him, looking for him with Ion Shell, but the Bounty Hunter just hid in the corner, and he was able to slip away. So, yeah, 2 kills, or a kill and an escape rather, for the TNC side. Not really sure what happened to Magical over in mid, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't the play that he wanted to make.
I'll tell you what happened. It's pretty simple.
Tell us the story.
So it's very simple. So he went this way, and Gyrocopter was right here, and he kept walking, even though Gyrocopter was walking right next to him with the Rocket Barrage. So I feel like he wasn't watching the mid lane.
Oh, Ailey. Rocket Barrage will just kill him off straight. Sunstrike will do damage, but insignificant damage. Mega kill for the Gyrocopter. Yeah, this lane isn't supposed to be won this hard by a gyro. I would expect this lane to be like 60-40 for the Invoker. Not really happening right now.
Well, it's because there's a Bounty and a Wyvern constantly moving into that mid lane. They're putting a lot of pressure onto him. they're making him fall super far behind. He's level 6 compared to the 8 of Cody.
Dire's
So
bottom
this Invoker
tower
is not
under
having
attack.
the best game of his life. He's not even going to... Will he go for a Midas though? Because Invokers benefit greatly from a Midas. He needs levels, he needs as much gold as possible. Attack speed's going to be useful as well, considering that he will do some decent right-click damage. But is he going to be able to farm enough with the Midas to make it worth it? Because I think the good news is that this Jug's doing very well. His CS is on top of the charts. So, road to 4.5k MMI. He's looking good for now. Can he hold the fort down with the Darkseer for this Invoker to come back? Because in Ailey's current status... Oh god, ew. In the place. But with Ailey right now, he cannot do anything for the team. He can go in, maybe try and go for some Sunstrikes. He's not Quas Wex, so he can't be there for anything like a Tornado EMP, because then he would be useful. But for now, he's very limited with what he can provide to the team. He's almost a burden. The hero, not the player.
Yeah, this is not a place where Invoker really wants to be. He has to go for the Hand of Midas to try to recover, but he just tried to farm a jungle camp and ended up getting one of the small trolls because the other ones are just outlast hit by AU. 9 minutes in, his level 5.5 is, not bad at all for a bounty hunter. In fact, this is more or less what you would expect from a bounty hunter who's going to be more so on the roam than sticking in the lane. So yeah, once the track comes up, then TNC, they're going to put up the pressure by a whole bunch. Just the Wind has the Doom available on Doom, and of course has a Hand of Midas as well. We've been seeing a very quiet game from the Spirit Breaker, but a quiet game for him involves getting level 7 9 minutes in, which is just a disgusting amount of experience. I mean, it's the same as the Darkseer. They're both having an equally good time right now. But still, it's going to be the Spirit Breaker to, at a certain point, start charging out of this lane. I don't think that point is just yet because there's no need, but once the track is up, then the charges are going to start, and then things get really bad for Ozone.
It seems like Spirit Breaker wants to go for a Midas. And I really feel like TNC can get away with the extra Midases. They're so far ahead right now, it's ridiculous. And now they're going to go for a charge onto the Darkseer, who's already down to roughly a third of his HP. Incredibly slow. Dazzle will be there though. Does he have a grave? He doesn't really want to go anywhere near the Darkseer. He might have to. Surge? Is it enough to get him out of there? Spirit Breaker could just completely finish him. TPs though. Oh, cancels it. And is this enough reinforcement? It sends them back, but they're not going to bother going back in. I don't think Ozone will be able to engage either. Just not the best heroes for engaging. They even bring the Juggernaut in. My goodness.
Well, now that everyone's on bottom lane, that means there's no one in mid. They're going to go in for the Invoker. Gyrocopter's going to do this one by himself until AU comes in and steals the kill. Classic bounty hunter move right there. Yeah, I mean, that was nice for Ozone, of course, to save their Darkseer. They saved him a little bit too much, though. I think having Dazzle Undying, or just having 2 of the 3 heroes that teleported in actually be there would have definitely called that off for TNC. They will get the tower off of it, but losing their Invoker again, I mean, it's a trade for Ozone. It's the second tower that they've destroyed, and for them, that's actually pretty decent at this stage. Take down 2 towers with a draft that is not exactly geared up for pushing, but yeah, when you don't have a mid laner at all, then your game is going to be a lot more rough. And this tower in the mid lane might just drop as well. I mean, TNC are just going to sit on it, and it's not quite in deny range just yet, although the catapult is going to put it down. Can they get this tower deny? Eiley, if he tries, I'm pretty sure he's going to get straight up dove underneath the tower. Forge Spirit looking for it, but now the track's going to start to fly, and the Forge Spirit's no longer in range. The tower will be destroyed. Reinforcements coming in from Ozone from the south. They're all going to, however, walk into a Winter Wyvern. Charge is there onto the Juggernaut. He has an Omni Slash. Yes, he has a Mask of Madness. Can he pop it in time? Well, he's going to get cursed up, and TNC are just going to leave. The Tombstone's up on the hill where they can't even see it. That's the correct decision, but they're going to surge up. The Juggernaut call down is there onto everybody right now. Doom and also going to drop, and everyone for Ozone's going to die almost immediately. They do get the Omni Slash off in the end, but to what end? It's Qwerty with an Ultra Kill. That's what happens when you walk into a funnel, into a Gyrocopter. You get messed up, man. You get messed up.
That seemed like a desperation play for Ozone. To get a kill at least on the board, and then they lose their whole draft and they don't even get anything out of it. So it's essentially all their efforts wasted. Any sort of lead that they've accumulated or any sort of advantage they got from the lanes is gone. Because the Jug was doing fine. He's got some decent CS, he's on the top, he's farming very well. Darkseer to a certain degree is doing pretty well too. He's very close to a mech. But to die like that, I'm scared to... The graphs look terrible right now. That's 10k, 12 minutes in. That's almost 1k per minute.
Alright, so for Ozone, I don't really blame them for going for a play there. that obviously wasn't the play, like charging uphill with everyone in a clump, not a good idea. But they used their Tombstone beforehand. It's only level 2 spell. Perhaps the more important thing is the fact that they saw the curse being used. So they figure like, okay, well, we don't have our Tombstone, they don't have their curse, we could maybe get something going here, but they just they didn't respect the damage of the gyrocopter, and everyone else from TNC also did their jobs, but now we have a charge still going down towards bottom, whereas Darkseer might just get soloed here by the Spirit Breaker, especially if he gets these bashes. He has Handamitis attack speed right now. Doesn't seem like he's actually very lucky, and now Darkseer's going to try to go into the trees, but he has no TP, so I don't really know how he's going to escape this one. He's going to drop a wall onto 3 heroes, but he's just going to get tracked and beaten down, and the wall illusions won't do that much. In the meantime, Gyrocopter, you know, going casually into the enemy jungle, killing off 1, killing off 2. He has no backup here, yet he doesn't give a damn because he has a double life. 15-0. We have another charge. It doesn't look like that's actually going to anything useful, so yeah, it's not going to do anything, but TNC, they are in a very similar game state compared to the last game. Maybe not leading by quite as much, but they've locked the game down just as hard.
So we may potentially see another, was it 15-minute GG last game?
15-21.
15-21. Well, we're up to 14 minutes. I think at least Ozone will at least survive till 20 minutes, at least, if the game keeps going like
this. You had to say something, didn't you? Remember that she said that, guys. Well, Handamitis is up on Invoker now, so that's nice. The problem is that there's a cow in his face who also has Handamitis. They do have their Nether Strike right now. They're not even going to use it. They're just going to buzz him down with the Black Cannon shots from downtown. So another dead Invoker. That's 0, 7, and 0. I mean, Handamitis is good, but it's not going to dig you out of that hole.
There's just no map control here for Ozone. They have 1 ward in the enemy jungle. Now. There's a Doom as well, and Darkseer. He's never going to finish the mech at this rate. He gets so close. So close. But this game is out of their control now. They cannot do anything. They cannot fight TNC. They're too strong together. They're too strong separately. There's no map control. They've taken 2 T1s, which is nice. But that was before everything just went downhill. So this is...
I want to get off of TNC's wild ride. I want to get off of TNC's wild ride. The ride doesn't stop for anyone. Nether Strike in onto Trash. Call down is there. Invoker's actually going to stumble right into it. The call down will keep Trash alive for right now, but the Black Cannon, ooh, they actually have no more shots. Trash will live. And it seems like everyone from TNC, they will also live. Gyrocopter is going to get right on top of the Juggernaut, who's just running right in. What? What was the play there? I don't know what happened. And now Undying's going to fall. He drops a Tombstone. They get a really nice wall in the middle of everyone. But they don't really care. They're just going to beat down the Darkseer because they can't keep him in the wall. It's a double kill for the Gyrocopter who stole that kill with Black Cannon from downtown. It's not a 15-21 victory, but you know what? It may just as well be. Because the Juggernaut just ran into literally the entire team and then just got cursed and died. With Mask of Madness turned on, by the way. So, you know, as if they needed the help.
Typically, if Jug does that, he wants to go for a Mask of Madness Omni Slash. But it's a level 1. It's a level 1 Omni Slash. It's only 3 slashes. Sorry?
Into 5 heroes also, so it's not going to do
anything. Into 5
anything.
heroes. Exactly. Like, you get 3 chances at slashing things. You have the extra attacks, and no one's gonna die. Like, there's the 3-hit Omni Slash, and now he. Oh my God! He just gets bashed in the backside. Now Magical Tender and doomed and eaten.
Can they get a kill? I think that's the best that Ozone can hope for at this point. A kill.
So if they get a kill, then the game finishes 1-1 because they're giving TNC a handicap. They need to get 3-2-2 kills.
Second question: is QWERTY gonna grab a divine rate? QWERTY, Quarterstaff, come on! You're really disappointing me right now, Gyrocopter. You're really letting me down here.
I think the best part as well is even if he dies with the divine rapier, there's no one on Ozone to fully capitalize on the divine, so they can always get it back, unless they die in the fountain.
Like any given hero with a divine rapier from Ozone will just get charged and Nether Struck, and then Dazzle has to be there every single time. So yeah, I mean, to be fair to the Juggernaut, the Omni Slash target was Doom, who has Plate Mail, and now we have a charge in. Spirit Breaker gonna man up. Very quickly realizes he shouldn't. Let's see how much damage Juggernaut can do. Well, none versus the Blade Mail. He's not going to even try. Those Blade Mail spikes seem really big for some reason. In the back line, in the meantime, AU will get dusted, but now here comes the big bad Gyrocopter. Call down, will land onto Trash. This Undying is super dead right now. Grave is not going to come in time. They land a really nice vacuum wall again from the Darkseer, but again, it just doesn't matter. Nether Strike now onto Eiley. I think Ice Ice Wannabe might just take this down by himself. Juggernaut is killing himself more so than he's killing the Spirit Breaker right now because of the Blade Mail. He's gonna get embraced. Sunstrike completely off the mark. They lose the Dazzle in the meantime. Now Curse onto the Juggernaut just to guarantee that there's no Omni Slash. They'll kill off the Invoker afterwards. And it looks like the Darkseer, well, he's going to fight to the bitter end, but his end will be very bitter. 27 to... what the hell? Okay, he just like disappeared. 27-0. And, well, it took them a little while longer, but this one was a lot more decisive.
Is under attack.
This is the TNC that I'm used to.
Radiant
TNC that plays absolutely monstrous. Give them any advantage, and they take everything away from you. Even kills. They take kills away from you. There's 0 for Ozone. It could be 0 zone now. It's official.
Feels
0
bad,
zone.
man. The classic 18-minute Sanjin
It's
Yasha
not
butterfly.
even classic.
If I'm in a pub and
Oh.
my gyrocopter ally has a butterfly at 18 minutes, I'm freaking ecstatic. Like, we don't lose the game from that point no matter what happens.
But the problem is, if you play on C, there is still a chance at
See,
losing the game.
that's
so
the thing. Like, I don't
that's
play
that's
on
the C thing.
C.
You play an American
Oh
service.
yeah,
You're
US
lucky.
East all day.
Look at EU's build. He's got 3 vitality boosters.
Dude, you gotta build tanky. This build right here is why Ozone didn't get any kills, because how the hell are you supposed to kill this guy? I don't know how much HP he has, but it's a lot. Like,
It
what?
would have
It's probably 1500 at least.
probably level 10. We didn't even know how many points he puts into stats. I don't think he put any into stats. Honestly, it would have been into skills. Something like that.
This was a change of pace.
It's
I'm not
very
gonna say
quick.
it was a good change of pace. I'm not gonna say it was a bad change of pace. TNC, they just walked right up to Ozone, punched them in the face, said, "Give me your points," and then Ozone had to give them their points. So yeah, TNC, they're gonna grab 3 points off of this 2-0 victory, and Ozone actually are done playing their game. So this was the last one for them, and yeah, not exactly going out with a bang, I would say. They're gonna end the group stage with a score of 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. Again, 2 wins. A team that plays like this, like, something's definitely going on with Ozone. Might be because they have some sort of like team issues in the background. Again, they made an announcement a couple hours ago that they were going to disband. Maybe they just didn't give a damn about this game, in which case, fair enough. But guys, there's going to be another game in about an hour that's going to be going into the European region, and it is going to be between NLG, Kaipi and Goomba. So yeah, that's going to be happening in about 50 minutes. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Daneliecasts. If you enjoyed the games, there's something sick and twisted about you. But yeah, if you did, be sure to stick around or come back in 50 minutes for the next game. Follow us on Twitter at Mikelorus, at Daneliecasts. It's all on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It's all in the stream title. And we will be back for the next and final game of the day, actually. Short day.